All right, this is Roman Gennaro of Empire Sports Talk breaking down my NFL predictions division by division, and we are talking about the NFC North. This one might be a bit of a surprise to some, depending on your leaning going into the year. I think Detroit's, this is Detroit's year. I think they make it into the playoffs. They make it in as a 3 seed at 13-4, and you're like, oh man, they missed the playoffs last year and they're going in at 13-4. They did upgrade at cornerback. I think Jared Goff proved last year that he's not just a product of Sean McVay, that he is a solid quarterback. Dan Campbell is the perfect coach for the Detroit Lions. And I think they put it all together this year. They have Jahmyr Gibbs from Alabama at running back. They put it all together this year. They win that division pretty easily, going 13-4. Now, here's where the surprise is. You hear me say pretty easily. Last year, the Minnesota Vikings won the division with that very same record, 13-4. But I think they are going to miss Dalvin Cook, who gave them 8 touchdowns a year ago. And they were 13-4. They were 11-0 in one-score games. That's not going to happen again. And despite being 13-4, they had a minus 3 point differential. I think those two stats hurt them this year. I do like the wide receiver combo of Justin Jefferson and KJ Osborne. I think they take a step back without Patrick Peterson on defense and without Dalvin Cook. But their Achilles heel will be the fact that the Minnesota Vikings, with Kirk Cousins at quarterback, nothing against Kirk Cousins, play 5 primetime games in 2023. And Kirk Cousins does not have a good record in primetime. His career record in primetime games is 13-16, and the Vikings play 5 in 2023. With all those factors, I think the Minnesota Vikings take a large step back, finish 7-10, second in the division, and miss the playoffs. Now, this is where a lot of people might agree with me. If you don't already agree with me from the Vikings standpoint, I'm not drinking the Green Bay Packer Kool-Aid. Jordan Love has made one start, a couple of starts in the NFL, and done not that much. Now, the same could be said for Aaron Rodgers when he came in and Brett Favre was there. It wasn't until Aaron Rodgers' third or fourth training camp, which is where Jordan Love is now, that we started seeing the Aaron Rodgers that we now know. So maybe they pick up a couple. But the Packers, I think, just they have a tough road. I think the Falcons are much improved. They play them in week 2. The Saints, I think, will win the NFC South, and they go Detroit and Vegas on a bye. They could get that Vegas victory, which have bring them up to 5-12. But then after the bye, they go Denver, Minnesota, Rams, Steelers, Chargers, Lions again, Chiefs, Giants, and that's just all in a row, and that's just a tough run. So I'm not buying this Green Bay Packers group. I'm not sold on that roster outside of Jordan Love and Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. Robert Tonyan is gone. Randall Cobb is gone. Alan Lazard is gone. They're second to Christian Watson is a guy named Dobbs, and I just don't think that's going to get it done. I think Jordan Love will do his best, and I think Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon will do what they do, but I don't think it's going to be enough. And I have the Packers sitting at 4-13, maybe 5-12. This one was a little tough for me. I was a little surprised by this. I half expected the Bears to pick up at least 5 because I do expect Justin Fields to take a step forward. But I just the roster, there's not enough there. They did get DJ Moore in the trade with the Panthers for that first pick, but there's not enough there for me to give them more than 3 wins. They do maybe 4. They have the Washington Commanders in week 5. So maybe they pick up 4 or 5 wins. But right now I have them at 3. Atlanta, I think, made a ton of additions. They have them on the schedule. I don't see them winning that game. There's too many holes in that roster to for the mass improvement that some are expecting, and I expect them to finish 3-14 again and really kind of reevaluate their direction after the year. That's where I'm at with the NFC North. I have the Lions getting the 3 seed in the NFC playoff picture and being the lone representative of the North in the playoffs. On to the next one.